What's going on, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation. Want to give some automotive content update, switching up the algorithm for a little bit. Um, Wanted to let you guys know that, in case you guys are not informed, um, in case you guys are not aware, I I installed the starter on my car. I had some help um, as I was in. It was some good hands-on experience for me. Um, I had to have a power steering pump installed. They had to do that at the shop. It's always something with these cars. And the next thing I'm gonna have to look into is getting an exhaust leak repaired. Um, but when I installed this starter, it was pretty simple. Didn't take us long. My dad's buddy disconnected the negative battery terminal, and we went from there. I gotta get a guys. I did a review on my tool set. I gotta get a better quality tool set because as we were working on the car, some of my sockets ended up breaking. The sockets ended up snapping. They ended up breaking. They were cracked. So I gotta get a better quality tool set to really work on my car. But it was a good experience though. It was a good hands-on experience for me. Um, I remember because we were trying to break this, we were trying to break this nut with the wrench, and my socket cracked. He had to use his. I was trying to twist the because it was when you're doing certain automotive jobs, it was one of them with a starter. For those of you who are automotive informative, for those of you guys who know, the the screw where the starter was screwed in was it was hidden. You had to feel for it. I even had to shine my flashlight on it. But it was I was trying to twist it out with my hand, but he had to use his tool to twist that screw out. Because some of those bolts be real rusted and they're hard to come out. But we got the job done. I would say we took the old starter off and installed the new starter. That was like a 2 hour job. We got it done. Um, Hopefully in the future, as time prevails, um, I'll be installing starters myself. I mean, that was great hands-on experience for me. And one thing I like about my dad's buddy, uh, he's very patient because I know I look at a lot of automotive content online, but I don't feel as confident um, doing it by myself. I feel better when I'm doing it with someone who's seasoned in automotive so they can inform me, as I'm working on the car. I feel better that way as I'm working on the car and I have them with me. It gives me more confidence because I'm just starting out in the automotive field. The last thing you want to do is mess up the car, you know, because you don't know what you're doing. The one thing that I want to learn to do is install a serpentine belt. That seems relatively easy, installing a serpentine belt, but that's one thing I definitely want to learn to do is install that belt. Um, it's a lot that goes into this automotive, but last weekend I got great hands-on experience because these shops they gonna knock your head off charging for these repairs. My dad's buddy, he worked with me, because he helped me install the starter. And he didn't try to knock my head off price wise because these shops ain't going they expensive. They charging you for the part they have to get plus the labor, and then you put the tax on that. That's gonna knock your head off. So these we all know these automotive repairs are not cheap, but it made me feel good that I got that hands-on experience. It made me feel real good. And like I say, as time goes on, I'll be installing starters by myself. Um, yeah, guys. But if you've ever installed a starter by yourself, I mean, it didn't even seem that hard. It didn't even take us that long to take off the old one and put on the new one. car cranked right up. Um, the car had a very bad power steering fluid leak, and it got on the starter, which is why I had to get a new starter. But the after I get this exhaust leak examined and figure out where that's coming from and get that squared away, everything will be, all my dots will be checked off. Like I say, we all know it's a lot that go into cars, and I'm glad that I'm going into this profession because this is a good lucrative profession where you can make money and save money. I don't know if I've ever showed you guys my scanner. Let me show you guys my OBD scanner. I got to get a more advanced scanner, but here's my OBD scanner, guys. I don't know if I ever showed it to you. Code reader. They had these at AutoZone, all your auto parts stores. So, it's a process, guys. This automotive stuff is a process. I feel good learning this stuff. I actually cleared a code that came up on the car, and I believe the exhaust leak may have triggered that code. If you're familiar with a P053, it said a camshaft position sensor. I cleared the code and the engine light went off. So I definitely want to get that squared away eventually. But like I say, it's a process. And I feel good that I'm learning this skill because I just think to myself, what if I had a wife and we broke down on the road? As a man, she would expect for me to know something about a car, how to change a tire, something. If I didn't know anything and I broke down on the road with my wife and I didn't know nothing about fixing anything, my wife would look at me as less of a man. Like, what kind of man are you? So I feel good about this profession that I'm in, and I feel good learning this stuff. But the thing is, I tell myself I can binge watch automotive content all day, but you got to get your hands dirty. Last Friday, when I was with my dad's buddy installing the starter on my car, I got my hands dirty. My hands got greasy, and it feel good to get your hands dirty. He had to get up under the car because he knew what to disconnect and all of that stuff. When we jacked up the car, I was helping him out from the top of the car, and I ended up breaking the bolt with the wrench, but he had to use one of his tools to get that bolt out. Them bolts is no joke coming out. They stuck in there. I'm gonna get me some of that catalyst stuff that will loosen up the bolts, make it easier for them to come out. But yeah, it's a lot that goes into this automotive stuff, but it's a good skill. This is a good skill, a good profession to be in. I feel good about it. Perhaps if I get a luxury car in the future, I can service that automotive. I could service that vehicle myself. And if I was to, if I had the capital, I could start. Once I really learn this stuff, I could start my own auto shop. I'll call my automotive shop. This is what I'll call my shop. I could call it Baccarat Automotive. No. We'll call it Baccarat Tex. How you like that Baccarat Tex? I want me a Baccarat glass so bad. But yet I would call my auto shop Baccarat Tex. Or Baccarat Technical. Oh, that's a nice name, Baccarat Technical. Yeah. That's why I say I'm so excited about this because this is a good field to be in. But if you've ever installed a starter, if you have any tips on automotive, or if you work in the automotive industry, I'm an upcoming automotive candidate. I'm in school for automotive, learning this skill. And the more I learn about automotive and as I learn to start doing certain things, I'll do some automotive content. We'll have Life of Hell automotive content. So be on the lookout for that. I'm just trying to bring new content. I'll go back to the real stuff that I'm known for from time to time. I'll go back to talking about the women, but I want to switch up the flavor for a little bit and bring something new to the table. So if you've ever installed a starter on a car, leave your comments, and I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. You guys have a good evening, and make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe.